Good morning, everyone. Hope you're all having a great day today. Sorry I've been away for a couple of days. I was actually away this weekend in Philadelphia, competing in a USA dodgeball tournament. I posted about it on the community page and a little picture of our team. We came in fourth out of fifth, so it wasn't that impressive or anything. We actually lost all of our games except for the one that determined whether or not we would be in fourth or fifth during the bracket. So that was kind of really cool. And our team name was the Underdogs. And so I was like, that's a pretty good, underdog story, if I may say so myself. But anyway, today I wanted to talk about the fact that suffering is kind of a part of life. And I've talked about that in the past. The reason why I'm talking about it is because I know that I tend to be someone where I can sometimes see the world, not necessarily in black and white, but I will oftentimes find myself grouping my experience in, the world as either being all good or all bad. Like everything is going great, everything is awesome, or everything is going terrible, everything is going horribly. I don't know if you guys have done this too, but I feel like that way of thinking is very, very not good and not healthy, because during those moments that we're experiencing something good, it can kind of leave us feeling with a feeling of dread for when things aren't as good or when things are bad again. And likewise, when things are bad, or when we feel like everything's going bad, again, there's never really a case where everything is good and everything is bad. And when we group our experiences into these two different camps, it really just not only polarizes our thinking, but it really ruins our experience to enjoy the good and to deal with the bad. For example, when I was away this weekend, I was having a great time. I was with my friends, we were competing. Our team didn't do so great, but we still, had fun. I was in this state of mind where I felt like everything is good, everything is great. And I remember I kind of had to pull myself back because I found myself starting to go into this way of thinking where I was kind of thinking to myself, oh my gosh, like I almost don't want to return home. Like, when will things kind of get bad again? Because things seem like they're going really good. It just seems like everything's going really well. And I'm kind of just dreading when things are going to go back to being all bad. I kind of had to stop myself and think, things are never all bad. Even during the moments where we feel like we are in darkness or we are in a very dark place, there is still good in those moments. So as it says in Psalms, God is with us in the valley of death, or in the shadow of the valley of death. I'm trying to remember the verse specifically. But even in those dark places, even in those moments where it seems like everything is going terrible, not only is God with us in those moments, we can still go to God, talk about it with God. But there are good things that happen in those moments. Even though it might seem like a lot of things are going bad, there are still good things that can happen in those seasons of our life where we feel like things aren't going as well as we would like them to be. And likewise, in the times of our life where we feel like everything is good, everything is great, everything amazing, I think we tend to romanticize the past, because I know for me, I look back on parts of my life and I feel like I usually, more often than not, remember the good. The good is what I remember, and the bad tends to, if it's really, really bad, I will definitely remember it. But the small things every day that, the small little things that happened on one day or another day, I forget those, but I remember the good. And that's the thing, is that when you're going through a time and something bad happens or something, and I'm saying this, not generalizing all bad things, because obviously there are things that are very horrible that happen to people, and I'm not trying to invalidate those. There are things that are very traumatic, but the small, frustrations of life, the things day to day that kind of just put us on edge and we're like, oh my gosh, those don't last forever. And in the future, we will forget those moments more often than not, or rather those moments will not have as strong of a hold on us as they are in the present moment. So when you're going through something where you're feeling really depressed or frustrated about whatever, remember that the good that you're experiencing in these moments, because there are good moments that we can have even through the hard times, more often than not, that will be what you remember. For example, during Hurricane Sandy, it was horrible here on the East Coast. It was absolutely terrible. So many, we were out of power. My house, we were out of power for I think 11 days, almost 2 weeks. We were just completely out of power. And I remember in the moment, I don't remember the specific things, but I remember having feelings of frustration and being annoyed and whatever. But the things that are really strong in my memory, the things that I really remember, are when my whole neighborhood really came together. a couple people had generators, and every night they would invite, you know, the block over. You know, I remember going to like my grandma's house to like shower because they had hot water, running into our cousins there and then spending the night with them. I remember going on just a ton of walks around the block. Yes, there was wreckage everywhere, but I remember again just like reconnecting with some of my old childhood neighbors who I, you know, hadn't really hung out with as much. So even in this time that was really terrible, which was Hurricane Sandy, I remember a lot of good parts from that horrible event. Again, Hurricane Sandy was terrible. I'm not saying it was good, but I remember the things that happened during that bad season that were good. So I really hope this video helps whoever needs to hear this. A lot of this kind of thinking of accepting that there's suffering in life just in general is called radical acceptance. And if anyone's interested in radical acceptance, it's kind of this idea. I'm not the best at explaining it. It's something that, you know, we learn in therapy, but it's kind of this idea that in life, there is just suffering, and suffering is a part of life. And once you can accept the suffering, and that suffering is a way of life, and just accept the moment that you're going through as it is, it becomes a lot easier to deal with it. I feel like just kind of acknowledging that we live in a fallen world and that that's the reason why bad things happen, but understanding that there's still good in it, God is still with us, can really, really help our mental well-being. So I really, really hope this video helps whoever needed to hear this. As always, if you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns, do not ever hesitate to leave me a comment down below or shoot me an email at my email address, which will be right down here. Also, we have a blog for this channel now. I'm sorry, it's been a couple days since we've posted. I actually just got another story from our brother Dave, so I will be posting that soon as well. If you want to go check out the blog and the articles that have been written by our fellow brothers and sisters here on this channel, make sure to check the link in the description box. It will be there, in the box. It will be down there. Also, if any of you guys out there have a testimony to share or a story that you want to share for the blog, write it up, just email it to me. Again, christianconvos@gmail.com. Like I said, down here. If you want to have that published, I can't talk today, just send that to me as well on email. Also, if you guys have any prayer requests, let me know of those as well. And as always, have a lovely rest of your day, and God bless.